Welcome to Question and Answer Time with Adam Neely. Here we're in my beautiful home studio. So yeah, let's do this.
Question and Answer Time with Adam.
What's the name of the educator?
Hal Gelper.
A video on connecting your ears to your fingers would be great. I've been struggling with that for years. Awesome stuff otherwise. In what aspects can an associate's degree be limiting compared to a bachelor's degree?
To be honest, there's not a whole lot of difference between an associate's degree and a bachelor's degree if you're going to be doing music, unless, you quit music and then go get some other job in some other field. Then it might be necessary to have a bachelor's degree versus an associate's degree. Because, I've never gotten a gig just because I had a bachelor's degree. In fact, I've never gotten a gig not gotten a gig on the account of me not having a degree. So, unless you really, really want to teach, and then you'll need a master's degree, it doesn't really matter. It depends on the kind of school you want to and whether or not you want to spend 2 years studying music or 4 years studying music.
That's an amazing sound. I'm nowhere near learned enough to execute it, and I'd have nothing for it, which brings me to a question. I listen to bass players, including yourself in this example, and it just feels like they're able to put the right notes in the right place at the right time. Is there something to this, or am I just too inexperienced? I'm 24 and I've been playing for 3 years.
It's kind of a vague question, but I do know where you're coming from with this one. I remember when I was first starting out and listening to, Victor Wooten, and not just for the pure technicality of it, but just he knows exactly what to do when, and I can follow him on every single musical impulse that he's doing, even if he's just, completely improvising everything that he's doing. And the best way that I sort of like to think about this is through the analogy of language, which I use very often, and his bassness himself, Victor Wooten, uses all the time. And that is, if you think about how you talk when you're 4 years old, you can talk, you can get stuff out, same way as if you've just been playing bass for a few years, but none of it seems to cohere into anything. It just blah, 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 blah. But then if you think about how you talk when you're 10 years older than that, or better yet, 20 years older than that, you can speak in full sentences. There's a direction to everything on what you're talking about. And if you think about that, it's basically just a question of how much time you spend into it. I don't pretend to really know what to do with every single one of my notes, especially in a video like that miking bass video, which is the one that you commented on. But you can sort of hopefully see that it's just a question of how much time, and you're very, very, very early in the game on this if you've just been playing for a couple years. So yeah, don't worry, it will come.
Thank you, sir. Very practical lesson. By the way, what about the chords? In this case, 2, 5, and 1. How do you determine them? Or could they be any chords?
Honestly, for that video, it was pretty arbitrary. I just picked a very simple chord progression to follow along. Although if you wanted to harmonize that line with another sort of chord progression, it would have worked. It would have yielded a slightly different harmonization. But yeah, totally arbitrary. 2, 5, 1.
And where can I read more about the Soli voicings? Is there a certain book that you recommend?
I come from the Berklee School of sax Soli harmonization, which is a very specific sort of system, and I've sort of unlearned a lot of habits from that. But the sort of a great book for learning that system is Modern Jazz Voicings with Ken Pullig, and I studied under Ken Pullig at Berklee, and I learned a lot from him. And I think you should check this book out if you found that video at all useful or at all helpful. It's a great book. Check it out.
Just want to say, dude, your videos are really good for bass players that are interested in weird theory stuff. Any other channels like you?
To be honest, I'm trying to do something slightly different with this channel. It's supposed to be, let's see, the elevator pitch is Vsauce for music, if that makes any sense. So a lot of weird, cool theory things explained in this entertaining way. But I don't really get into the nitty gritty of bass playing the same way that a guy like Scott of Scott's Bass Lesson does. If you haven't checked out Scott's Bass Lessons, you definitely should. It's an amazing resource, and there's all sorts of cool videos, and he teaches you tips and tricks and goes really into the detail of playing bass. This channel is geared a little bit in a different sort of mindset. So if you do find a channel that you think is similar to mine, please send it my way, just so I can steal some ideas and incorporate it into my stuff.
Man, I love your lessons. You talked in the past about playing in corporate cover bands and such. Do you have a database of chords you've written so we could download or buy? There's a lack of good solid number charts or transcriptions online.
So if you haven't seen the video Band True 7 is talking about, it's basically me playing in a wedding band, and you see on my iPad me scrolling through all these charts that I wrote out for all these pop songs, hundreds of pop songs. And it took me about, I'm going to say 4 months of solid work, transcribing all the bass lines note for note into Sibelius and compiling everything. There's no real full database available online for free or for pay. That's just me. If you scribd.com does have some good like piano vocal scores. If you need something on the last second, you can just go on there, and it is a subscription, but there's like a 14-day free trial, and check it out if you need that. If you are interested in any of my charts, either hit me up on private message here on YouTube, or like email me at adamneelybass@gmail.com, and we can work something out.
Singing on a roof, real original. You should be singing under a rock to spare my ears. You are not good. You are. Correcting spelling, I found, is always a last-ditch effort for a comeback on YouTube. I can spell however I please. This isn't an English test. Comeback. Wow, so you're both pathetic. You make a good team, smiley face. You're.
Thank you, Random Troll. It's moments like this where I really love the internet. Thank you for that exchange. Made my day. Anyway, this has been question and answer time number 2 with Adam Neely. I'm going to be doing these at probably the rate of once a month if I can get around to it, because, you know, this is just a YouTube channel. This is just a hobby. It's a lot of time. But it's a lot of fun, too. So please keep sending in questions. I'll do my best to answer them. You guys have a lot of great questions, and it's really exciting to see such a positive response to the videos that I've been putting up this summer. Until next time, bass.